Hi and welcome. It's Marco here from My Performance Health. And in this video, I just wanted to cover a really cool case study. You'll have some awesome takeaways with this, especially if your goal is to sculpt your physique, get leaner, get stronger, get a bikini building physique or go through a bikini building process. There are going to definitely be some takeaways in this case study for you to implement. Now, I wanted to show you this because once again, my goal here is to give you action steps and tips that will speed up your progress and possibly prevent plateau and more so move towards the goals that you want with your own physique transformation journey. Now, Carly here is my case study for today. As you can see in the messages here, I got the response of being insanely lean going through our program. She has gone through our coaching program, our body transformation method, and has been working with us for quite some time. We've got a Google review down here as well, where she does mention the process itself. And understand this was a client that didn't necessarily have a goal starting off of stepping onto the stage, just wanted to get, more into shape, still build the bikini body. But then over time, going through the method, that created the opportunity where she actually reached out and said, hey, I actually want to do a physique competition. All right. So like I keep saying, you can get fantastic results with these kind of methods that we're going to show you with our methods, even if your goal isn't to step on stage. But in the future, if there is an opportunity to, it may present itself and you can do so. Now, the result for Carly was her waist before was 68 centimeters, right? And then at the end peaking, we were at 57 centimeters. Now I'm going to go why these ratios and measurements are important in a second. Her waist to shoulder ratio before was 33.7 centimeters and waist to shoulder ratio after was 47 centimeters. So we had a gain there. So a loss around the waist, but a gain between our waist and shoulder ratio. Our waist to glutes ratio before was 15 centimeters and our waist to glutes ratio after were 29.5 centimeters. So we gained a ratio between the waist and the glutes as well. Now, why are these markers important? I'll cover in a second, but what this means is she lost basically 11 centimeters from her waist. So she had a leaner, slimmer waist. The waist to shoulder ratio gain was 13.3 centimeters. That means we're creating more of the hourglass shape physique. And the waist to glutes ratio gain was 14.5 centimeters overall, which once again means more of an hourglass physique shape. Now, if we look at these ratios, and like I say up here, why do we even care about ratios? This is where I'm talking about. If you look at the picture here, now understand, all ladies' physiques are different, 100%. But we can always, and like I say, maximize our genetic potential with however we are. So when I'm talking about the ratios here, we're talking about, as you can see, the waist in, bigger ratio between the shoulders and the waist coming in here, a bigger ratio between the glutes and the waist coming in here. All right, that's what I mean by the ratios. And as we can see, the waist got smaller as well. I'm going to cover some really cool action tips that you can use as well to have understanding of what to measure to make sure you can get, this kind of result if that's your goal. Which, if you're tuning into this video, I hope it is, right? So important notes here is I haven't mentioned once about scale weight, not once. All right. I've talked about ratios, body tape measurements. Now, does this mean I don't look at scale weight or respect scale weight? That's incorrect. I do. Right. And we do here with our coaching team. The thing is, we look at all different points of data. Now, scale weight, as some of you will know, it's a love and hate relationship. It can go up and down, bounce around. At the end of the day, we are trying to create a physique, not a number. Now, the scale weight can show many different things from muscle, water throughout the body, fat, glycogen. There's many things that scale weight will actually measure. And we take that into consideration as well. And that may be something I come up with different content in the group 4 of how to look and dissect scale weight data. Though, once again, we are chasing a physique, not a number. So that's very important to remember as well. And this is why I like using things like tape measurements, circumference measurements, ratios, etc., to make sure we are, gaining the physique with those ratios how we want to, okay? Now, the other thing important here is to understand we're aiming to build what's called pretty muscle. That is the goal. It's not bulky muscle. There's a difference between both. Now, bulky, think of it like we've got a lot of mass, a hunk around, very thick. Pretty muscles, bubbly muscle. So it's nice, it's nicely shaped. It gives you a nice figure. We're not too scrawny, etc. In the way we look. So there is a big, big difference with pretty muscle versus bulky muscle. And to get that pretty muscle, specifically physique sculpting, which is what I'm talking about, strength training workouts are going to be your main tool to help improve those ratios, build nice rounded shoulders, build the glutes. That is where we want that pretty muscle to build, and that will help improve your ratios. Once again, you've got to respect the whole body as well. And everyone's going to be a little bit different where they may need a little bit more attention onto their back, a little bit less onto the front of the legs to get that balance, proportion, and symmetry, like you'll hear me talk about quite often. But as a big takeaway here, we're in the game of building pretty muscle, not bulky. Now, I wanted to give you, like I said, that's the case study, give you some understanding of outcomes as well and what can be achieved by implementing, methods, our methods, and the way our philosophies are with building, once again, a sculpted bikini ready physique. These are 3 simple tips that I wanted you to start taking away right now. Now, measurements are very, very important. What you don't measure, you cannot manage. Okay, so how do you know if you're creating the physique that you wish for or bettering your progress over time? So what I recommend is we take a whole range of measurements throughout the whole body, once again, to look at proportion, balance, and symmetry. But even if you start with these simple 3 measurements, you can progress quite quicker, and it will also help your decision-making with your nutrition, with your training as well, as long as you are measuring these quite regularly. And I recommend at least once a week to look at these measurements fasted. So that means before you're eating any food or drinking any water, go to the toilet if you got to go to the toilet, but then do these measurements. And what we would be looking at is the upper glutes, waist, and shoulders. You want to be as accurate as possible every week. Fasted is going to be one of the best ways to do it. But upper glutes, waist, and shoulders, that's where we can, once again, I ran through those ratios, what we achieved with Carly through the case study. But taking those few measurements there, the simple 3, can be very beneficial to know if you're heading in the right track or not. Like I said, we take a lot more measurements to help that balance, symmetry, and proportion, but doing these simple 3 will be super, super effective. And like I said, I recommend once a week fasted measurements. Now, the question becomes, okay, well, how much, should I be losing off my waist? Or like, how can I plan it? Now, to manage the expectations, a simple way to do it is aim to lose about 0.5 centimeters or a 1/4 inch, depending on the measuring tool you're using, per week from your waist. So 0.5 centimeters or a 1/4 inch per week. Now, keep in mind, this may not be linear, as I say here. Menstrual cycle may cause plateau. You may have fluctuations in water for the week, etc. When that happens, though, it will be a great point for you to plan your progress with. Okay, when you first start a plan, you may lose a little bit more off the waist a little bit quicker. But if you go over a 12-week period, you go, cool, and you are at a point where you can get leaner. Starting with 0.5 centimeters or 1/4 inch loss per week over a 12-week period would be a great way to start, okay, on an average of loss week in and week out. But like I said, you may have some weeks with menstrual cycle, which may actually cause plateau for a week or so. To be honest, I've seen some ladies that really progress consistently during that menstrual cycle time. Most, though, maybe will plateau over those measurements due to bloating, fluctuations with water weight. But every lady is a little bit different. So once again, this is a broad marker to use, but it's very, very effective. And it's what we use in our coaching business to help manage realistic expectations. So I highly recommend you use that, because every transformation you see or result you see that has gone through our program uses these measurements as a marker to track with, okay? Now, focus your workouts as well to round out your shoulders. Now, I should say out here, but round out your shoulders, build strong glutes, and have whole body balance. You are in the game of sculpting the physique. Random workouts that aren't planned, or, you know, and I've said this before, but I love all different types of workouts. I think it's fantastic for you going out and being healthy and fit. But if your goal, if your mission is to sculpt the physique towards the way that you want it to be better, you're going to have to pay more attention to detail of the exercises and the program you are doing. So as a simple way of doing this, I do recommend that you pay attention to the areas that are going to, you know, make you have the physique that you're aiming for. So very simply, nice shoulder development, 3D glutes, focusing more attention to the glutes with exercises, whole body balance. That is what I would recommend for your workouts to start with. Once again, in the aim of the game is to build pretty muscle. All right, strength training is a fantastic tool to do that. And if you do it correctly, you really can create a really awesome physique. Now, that's it for this case study. I really hope you had some takeaways out of that. Like I said, with the whole goal of this group, and also if you're coming from the group and with all this that I run through, for though, like, I just want to give you enough content so you can execute things and get better. That's simple, right? But for those interested in our coaching service, you can click the link in the description to organize a one-on-one discovery call with our team, or you can email, you know, management@mindperformancehealth.com.au. Okay, that's if you're interested to dive a little bit deeper and get possibly a little bit more attention to detail with the programming, like our clients do. Okay, so that is an option or an opportunity there to do so. But regardless, I hope you have a lot of takeaway with what I've covered today. These are some things from experience that we use consistently to get, you know, client results, manage expectations, create physique transformations with our clients. So once again, if you do execute some of this, I know for a fact, and I'm confident, very confident, that you will see better results with your own physique transformation journey. Okay. So once again, guys, it's Michael here from Mind Performance Health. Thank you for tuning in, whether it's night or day, and I hope you have a fantastic, fantastic day or night, and have great, strong progress with your own physique transformation. Thank you.